Welcome in to a very special afternoon edition of Icy Veins. We are back with Sportsathon. Sportsathon is the annual fundraiser here at WNUR News that helps to pay for all of our trips as well during the season. If you want to donate to Sportsathon, we are more than happy. We've already surpassed our initial donation goal. We have set another one even higher. And we would love to have any sort of contributions if you can find it in your hearts. As I pull up the official read. Here we go. So, thank you for joining us for Sportsathon 2026 on WNUR. Sportsathon is WNUR Sports' lone fundraiser and helps the station maintain its equipment, travel to Northwestern Athletics events across the country, and bring you the best coverage of Wildcat athletics. To donate and check out the awesome premiums you can receive during Sportsathon, including WNUR Sports hoodies, t-shirts, and stickers, you can head on over to WNURsports.com and click on Sportsathon. And with that, we will head into our first segment of Icy Veins. I have three amazing guests with me today. We have Yanyan, we have Sid, and we have Aidan. Two first-time guests on Icy Veins, one returner. And I could not be more excited to have you all aboard.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Gabe. I think as the former Obscure Ballers, one of the former Obscure Ballers hosts, I felt I had to pay it forward and at least get on this winter quarterly show at least once. And I'm so happy to be here to talk these amazing winter sports, which I feel are so underappreciated. So thank you for putting a spotlight on the wintry Obscure Ballers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Love that, wintry Obscure Ballers. My veins are already iced.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no harm in icing them again. I don't know how that works scientifically, but let's roll with it.
It's like a refreeze almost.
Yeah.
Like they've been thawing a little bit over these in the meantime, but you need to come back in for another chill. I suppose.
Aidan, your veins?
Just iced out, man.
Okay.
I'm like LaMelo.
Oh, perfect. Well, with that, as Sid kind of perfectly segued us into our first segment of the show today, we're talking about Winter Olympics as an alternative. So this kind of sparked actually from me and Sid on Thursday. We were talking with Sam Green, another WNUR sports member, about how to learn skeleton. Can we go learn it somewhere in Chicago? Is there a place that we can kind of find out how we can participate in these winter sports? And there was so little infrastructure for it anywhere. There was a lot of it was like you have to be discovered as being good at this. One of the top skeleton athletes was told she was too slow for bobsled. So she transitioned over to skeleton. So many of these sports lack distinct training grounds. And, now that athlete in question, Mystique Rowe, is a gold medalist at the World Championships. Let's just kind of have an open floor discussion about this. Do these winter sports, are they just an alternative? Does this make for more compelling storylines? What are all of our thoughts?
I can start. I think it does. I think this is a good thing and not a bad thing in terms of creating one, more compelling storylines, and two, just like getting more participation in this sport. Because the thing is, like, if there's more people doing these niche winter sports, like, there will be more infrastructure being put into them and more investment, and a lot of this comes from the Olympics, and the Olympics being that platform for these athletes. Like, I think of Eileen Gu as a great example. She chose to represent, even though she was born in the US, she's a dual citizen, chose to represent China in the Olympics for freestyle skiing rather than the US. And her reasoning a lot was because skiing is not as popular in China, and by winning a gold medal, like, she became really popular there. And I think the amount of skiing participation amongst young girls in China has increased since she won gold, and there's just been a lot of funding put into skiing. And she's not someone who transitioned to skiing. She's obviously been training for that for her whole life, but I think it goes to show, like, just the pipeline from, like, participation in the Olympic success, and then more participation and more infrastructure.
Yeah, I think almost kind of as like a counterpoint to that. I remember I went to Peru with Tomas for this WR documentary, and we were talking about it like later, and it's like Peru has only had, like the Island Goose situation, Winter Olympians from who were born in other countries and weren't really that didn't see themselves breaking into their they had a delegation from Germany. Well, I mean they would be from Peru, but originally born in Germany, that decided to represent Peru because they thought they weren't going to make it for the German Olympic team. And basically what happened was the Peruvian Olympic Committee said, that's great if you want to represent Peru, but we can't fund your delegation to go. So they just had to pay for all the flights, pay for everything, all the accommodations, everything they had to do on their own. They were flying the flag of Peru, but without the monetary support that usually comes with it. I think kind of what it showed was a country like China, I think, has the existing sporting appetite, right? For winter sports. Well, not really, but for sports in general. And it's like if someone breaks through on the Winter Olympic stage and creates that kind of fanfare, then there will be funding. But that funding isn't necessarily guaranteed, even if there is some kind of hype or media generated about it. I think it definitely moves it forward a little bit, but there are just a lot of factors that are contingent upon. I also think a big thing is accessibility, right? A lot of these sports are really expensive to have facilities for, as opposed to a soccer field you can do in a backyard, right? And so I think that's a big complication when you're talking about facilities and infrastructure, is just how expensive it is to have a winter sports facility.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna echo Sid's point here. Mostly, I just think in general, when you have these winter sports as that alternative thing, and it's not an actual it's not an actual event in its own, people don't view it as a big it's a sideshow and not the main event. I think what happens is that you miss out on talented people. I mean, yeah, to bounce off that point from Sid, there are definitely people in these 90-degree countries that just maybe they'd be great at luge or skeleton, but no one will ever know.
Exactly.
So I think the to that point, the infrastructure is so important. And I feel like with some sports, you kind of get those people that are with ice hockey, it's people that have played hockey since they were 3, but with as you kind of started with luge and skeleton, it's people that transition to it at 20. And I think that you would get better athletes and better overall performances and really get the best of the best of the best if you had these sports institutionalized and ready to go at all levels. So yeah, I mean, I think obviously it does make for great storylines, but I think it'd be great if you had people that were competing in luge since they were 3 and have completely mastered their art, because I think that would make for better times and just better athletic performances. And I think that's what the Olympics should be about.
Yeah, I think the topic of the weather too is such an interesting thing, because there's so it feels like the Winter Olympics is so limited to countries within a certain hemispheric classification. You mentioned Peru, so there's athletes that are competing that are representing the Philippines this year, and Philippines does not have any recorded snowfall in the country's history.
Wow.
Because these athletes have moved to the U.S. or have moved to Nordic countries and have competed there. But yeah, it seems like an alternative in many cases right now. Not to say that there aren't those athletes who have competed since they were young, but it would just be so cool to see more infrastructure for them. Well, speaking of sports that need a little more attention, this is Yanyan's special segment, Ice Swimming's Quest for 2030. So, Yanyan, I'm going to turn this mostly over to you, but I know you've been doing a lot of research and interviews on ice swimming recently as the sport kind of quests to be considered for the 2030 Olympics. So give us everything we need to know. What are the top competitors? How do you swim on ice? I'm very curious.
Yeah, so ice swimming, it's not actually swimming on ice, unfortunately. Hate to burst your bubble, but it's basically sanctioned swimming in temperatures under 40 degrees. And so an average pool temperature is around I'm trying to sort of pull them through, and it's frozen, and it's giving me poop porn.
No.
But anyways, so basically 40-degree or lower temperatures, you don't dive in. You have to start from like inside the water, because if you dive in, like that's gonna create like too much shock. There's no like turning, like underwater flip turns. You have to like grab the wall and turn, because again, the shock, you have to be medically cleared before you start swimming. But yeah, ice swimming, the IISA Ice Swimming World Championships have been going on since I believe 2016, and they just had their last one there every 2 years. The last one was in Italy in 2025, and I think the reason why ice swimming kind of made waves recently is, one, they want to
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
one, they want to push their sport and make it a Winter Olympic sport. That's the ultimate goal of ice swimming. But also Keaton Jones, who was a U.S. Olympian on the U.S. Summer Olympic swim team in 2024, and is also a swimmer, collegiate swimmer at Cal, which is one of the best college teams in the country. He participated in the ice swimming championships in 2023 and 2025, and basically just like broke a bunch of world records. Like, he only did the short distance events, but like I think it was like kind of like a hot topic. I actually interviewed Keaton, and he said that like at first like people didn't really like the full-time ice swimmers. Like, apparently Poland has a really like intense ice swimming culture.
Ooh.
Like, they kind of like looked down upon him because they thought he was like this pool swimmer who was like arrogant and thought he could like coast through ice swimming. But like once he like actually like started like integrating with the community and like swimming really well, I think like they mostly viewed his like participation as good for the sport, in that like he was bringing more publicity. But definitely a lot of like debate around that, like, should ice swimming be like a Winter Olympic sport, or is it just going to be like an avenue for like Summer Olympic swimmers to like do like a side quest, like, which is basically kind of what Keaton is doing now. But also a bunch of other cool ice swimmers. There's like breaststroke ice swimming. Mikhail Pearl's one of the Polish ice swimmers. He's currently recovering from a back injury, but he also broke I think the 50 and 100 breaststroke world record. Kate Steele's more of like a long distance swimmer. She has the world record for the most amount of ice miles by a woman, and she also did this thing called the Ice 7, where she basically swam a mile in every continent, including Antarctica. So very cool stuff. But that's the ice swimming rundown. Yeah.
Nice. No, that sounds really fun. Especially, okay, so it's not exactly ice, but there's 40 degree temperatures.
I looked it up,
below.
and according to reputable swimming outlet swimswam.com, Olympic pool temperatures are between 77 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yes. So
Yeah,
very.
can you vouch for SwimSwim as a reputable
Yes.
website?
SwimSwim is where. Buy the next edition.
Turn your
of
laptop a little to the camera right there.
Buy the next edition of the SwimSwam magazine to get my feature on ice swimming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
We salute the flag of WR Sports and also SwimSwam.
Yeah.
10-10.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, Braden Keith would be proud.
Oh.
Up next, though, Sid, you've got a little deep dive of your own as we talk
goodness.
about a wonderful sport in biathlon. So I think kind of the best place to start is, so for those who don't know as well, biathlon is a combination of skiing and shooting with, is it pistols? Yeah?
They're rifles.
Rifles.
They're rifles.
My apologies.
Yeah.
So how did this combination come about in the first place?
Well, I mean, I think the clue, the fact that they use rifles is a clue as to the origin.
Yes.
So, according to Encyclopedia Britannica via Wikipedia, it's rooted in the strong skiing traditions of Scandinavia, right? Where the Norse god Ur was both the skiing god and the hunting god, right?
Ooh.
So that kind of combined into Norwegian training exercises in the military. And so basically, I would imagine if you are a country, say Finland or Norway or Sweden, basically all of your land you're going to have to ski on, more or less, I'd imagine, aside from like maybe like the ports in the south. But like if you're whatever defending Greenland from American invasion, you would probably need skis and a rifle. And so basically that became like a regular practice. Like you do military exercises through the 18th, 19th, 20th centuries with a rifle over your shoulder and skis, right? Now biathlon is what they call it. It's kind of like it's basically that competitive as a sport. So you ski around for a long time, and then you ski around this cross country skiing course. Then you get to a gun range at the end of the course. Then you lay down. You put your rifle over your shoulder, and then you shoot. I think it's like you have to hit like the target like 5 times or something, and then only once you hit the target 5 times can you progress and do the next lap of skiing, right? And so I find this sport fascinating. All right,
As do I.
So I mean, because it only became an Olympic sport because after World War I, it became like it was like really useful and like a big whatever narrative trend in story in World War I was that the Finnish skiers were going around, like basically like very prolific Finnish skiers were going around like sniping their enemies in the Finnish Arctic.
So are you saying if Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria was never assassinated, we might have never seen this wonderful Olympic sport?
We very well may not, and I think that is I'm not so I'm not going to make a commentary on whether or not on the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, but so it starts in 1924 as like and then it is like a full-fledged Olympic sport in 1916. And so basically what I find really cool about this sport is like you could be a really, really good cross-country skier and be fine at shooting. And it's not like in like pentathlon or triathlon or whatever, any other athlon, where it's like you run and then you're done with running and then you go swim and then you're done with swimming and then you go bike and then you're done with biking. You can ski and then like, be really good at skiing and then go to the gun range and flop, but you still have to go back around to the gun range, right? And so what that means is like the lead changes depending on who is really good at shooting, who is really good at skiing, right? Because I mean, evidently, as much as it's embedded in the culture there, they're not really transferable skills, right? Like it's not really like if you're a really good shooter, you're gonna be a really good skier. Not it's not like going from field hockey to lacrosse, right? And so
stick sports to go.
Yes. Have to get that reference in. And so basically, you can, as you can imagine, this is a sport dominated by the Scandinavian teams. But I mean, it'll be in Milan 2026 as usual. And quite frankly, I just find it like the kind of sport where you flip it on. Like I more than any other, I feel like international like any other sporting competition, the Olympics is the most easy to just flip on and just find out what's going on, right?
Oh, 100%.
And biathlon is like when I flipped it on and I figured out what was going on, I was like, what? like I had no idea what this was a sport. I was like, why are they shooting? Like, why is this guy going to cross country? Like, why is this guy skiing up to this gun range? And also, like, too, like, it's not exactly like there's just like they're two completely separate. You have to ski with a rifle over your shoulder, and that's gonna change the way you ski. Like, could you imagine like swimming and you have like a 15-pound weight like strapped to your back, and then you have to get out of the pool, right? Like,
no, you're not shooting people; you're shooting targets, Yanyan.
Yeah,
we don't condone murder on WNBA sports.
You have to dunk this.
But I mean, more or less, I think if anyone was a fan of whatever, like the Turkish guy who won silver medal at the Summer Olympics.
Oh, the guy with the gray hair
and the really cool like the lenses and stuff like that. You will love biathlon. That's all I have to say about that.
All right, wonderful. So that is exactly what I hoped out of a former Obscure Ballers host when it came to describing a fun sport. Well, speaking of fun sports, we've got 16 of them in the Olympics this year, and with 4 of us, that's a perfectly even split, which makes it perfect for our next draft. We'll start with Aidan. Give me a number between 1 and 4.
3.
All right, you got the first pick then. I was just gonna go clockwise, and Yanyan was 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got yourself the first pick. Let me give an overview of this first for those listening. So for this final segment, we are drafting athletes for every Winter Olympic sport. So what does this mean? There are 16 Winter Olympic sports, so we're going to use them all. I will let Yanyan, per Yanyan's amazing segment, we can also use ice swimming. If any of you would like to use ice swimming, you are more than welcome to, but I will not let you take a regular swimmer to compete in ice swimming. So what we're doing is pick one of these 16 Olympic sports and give me an athlete, can be Northwestern, can be professional, any athlete from any other sport that you follow or that you're a fan of, and that you think would just be really, really good in this Winter Olympic sport, especially given that so many of these people are recruited and are doing this as an alternative. You don't need an intense knowledge of the rules. Just a general vibe is perfectly okay. But yeah, Aidan, you got the first pick, so I will let you take it away.
Yeah, I am. I'm very excited to make my selection. I also think that one thing that I've seen like a lot of is I get reels of women who compete in Nordic combined. That's only a men's sport for those who know, but like women just aren't allowed to compete in that for some reason. I guess there's like a belief that they can't like hold up physically, but people do it all the like women compete all the time and do it. So I'm gonna pretend for this segment that women are actually allowed to do
That
Nordic
is perfectly
combined.
okay. Yeah.
And I'm gonna say Dominique Malonga. She's a she's a center for the Storm and for
nice.
the Breeze and Unrivaled. But I think that Nordic combined combines like cross country skiing, then also ski jumping. But Malanga just dunked in an Unrivaled game, which is pretty crazy. So I think that that's gonna be my first pick. I feel like she has she has both the stamina to do the cross country skiing, but also has the hops to do really well in the jumping part of the competition.
All right, I like it. I like it. Dominique Malonga in Nordic combined. I did not think Nordic combined was going to be the first pick today, but I'm so here for it. All right, it's over to me now. I think my first pick. I'm gonna go to biathlon. What Sid just talked about. This is the pick that I had in my head over the past few days. So I need someone who is quick and agile on their feet. I need someone who is precise with their ability to hit a target. And then just as overall that's I don't think super tall people do as well in biathlon. I'm gonna take AI. I'm gonna take Allen Iverson for biathlon.
Like artificial intelligence. What?
No, I'm taking the original AI, Allen Iverson.
The only true, the one true AI.
The real AI.
All right, Yanyan, it's over to you now.
All right. My pick's kind of boring, but I feel like figure skating and artistic gymnastics are kind of like spiritual sisters of the Olympics, summer, winter. Like I think they're the two main sports where you're judged by like skill and artistic ability. And I've got to go with Simone Biles doing figure skating. Like I think like she's got the balance, she's got like the creative moves. She can probably do a cartwheel on the ice. She may need like a few weeks of training, but I think she can nail it. Like I think that just would be like really cool to see.
Oh, 100%. Sid?
All right. With the fourth pick in the 2026 Icy Veins Olympic X non-Olympic athletes draft, Sid selects curling, and I'll take Sebastian Barger, the champion of the American Cornhole organization World Singles Championships in 2025.
It's amazing.
I believe cornhole, in terms of like your ability to judge a distance and launch a projectile a certain that exact distance, is really transferable between cornhole and curling. And I'm looking forward to seeing Barger compete for whatever country he might choose, but hopefully the nation of Sid in this year's Winter Olympics in Milan.
All right, you got two picks.
We're gonna do double. Okay. So I have my second pick already. So I'm going to take cross country skiing, and with cross country skiing, I'm going to go with Ava Earle on the Northwestern women's cross country team. And probably the best runner and Alaskan. That's exactly why. Girdwood, Alaska. And so I think she's probably skied before. I wouldn't be surprised. Not to assume that everyone in Alaska has skied, but I think it's a safer bet than most states. And I think we've got a good first two picks going here for Team Sid.
All right, we're gonna do a little rapid fire, speed it up a little as we go along. But Yanyan, it is back to you.
I'm gonna go with Mondo Duplantis, pole vaulter for ski jumping, because I think ski jumping requires both balance and height, and I think like the heights that he's reached as a pole vaulter gone nowhere has ever gone before, and I think that would translate well to a mountain.
All right, back on me. So for those who don't know, very quick tangent. There is a short track speed skater named Eddie Alvarez, and he was on the Red Sox minor league system very briefly, and he made a brief appearance at the Miami Marlins in the 2020 season when everyone got COVID. So I'm trying to think of the closest comparison to him as a second baseman in Major League Baseball, and I'm going to take Red Sox utility middle infielder David Hamilton.
I love that. That works. I like that. So for me now, I get 2 now, right?
Yes.
We're snaking it. So I'm gonna go ice hockey. I'm gonna go Reggie White. I feel like he's like a very big body, but very quick on his feet. Was one of if not the best defender of all time. So I think that in the NFL, so I think that would work as a goaltender.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am gonna go. I feel like luge is a sport where you need to be small, so I'm gonna go Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy Bogues luge. Nice. All right, it's back on me. I believe so. Yeah.
Would you like to give, or no? Are we gonna?
It's a snake.
It's a snake.
Double snake. Okay. I see.
All right. I am going to go to the world of skeleton. I think that's another sport where you want to be small, you want to be compact, and be able to race around the track. I was gonna take Simone Biles originally. I didn't snipe that, so I'm going Gabby Douglas in the sport of skeleton.
Oh God. I feel like I couldn't think of an idea. But this one's kind of boring. But I feel like
That's
a lot of people
perfectly
think
okay.
like field hockey, ice hockey are like similar, but they're actually very different sports. But I like kind of would be curious to see like a field hockey player try ice hockey, and I feel like I'm gonna go with Grace Schultz as an ice hockey player because I think she has that like family background of I think her mom played ice hockey as well, so I think that would be cool to see.
All right, ice hockey's off the board, but I'll let it slide.
Oh my God!
I think we have time for one more pick. Sid, I'm gonna have you take us home on this.
Okay. I am going to go with Oh my God, I had one. Wait. I'm gonna go with in bobsleigh. I'm just gonna go with my Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi?
Yeah. I think small, compact, aerodynamic. Hopefully, and Argentine's gonna take us home. Like you said, 90-degree country. We do have no idea how good he would be in bobsleigh. So let's figure it out.
All right, final rosters are Aidan has Dominic Malanga in Nordic combined, Reggie White in ice hockey, and Muggsy Bogues in luge. I have Allen Iverson in biathlon, David Hamilton in short track speed skating, and Gabby Douglas in skeleton. Yanyan has Simone Biles as a figure skater, Mondo Duplantis in ski jumping, and Grace Schultz in ice hockey. And then finally, Sid has Sebastian Barger in curling, Ava Earl in cross-country skiing, and Lionel Messi in bobsleigh. I think this was a raging success.
It was a great time. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Sorry for the repeat.
You are totally fine. Well, that's going to do it for our Icy Veins today. We're going to turn it over to the wonderful folks at Her Take. You're listening to WNUR 89.3 FM HD1, Evanston, Chicago.